Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Voices of Empowerment with Dr. B. We are here for our Sunday segment. We are journeying through the amazing book, you all, The Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav. The Seat of the Soul. This has been absolutely amazing. Why? Because we have been really learning more, expanding and expounding on more. So many spiritual practitioners, they have read this book. And this book was published back in 99, you all. So this book has been around for a while. And so many of our great teachers that we know and admire and learn from and all of those things, they've read this book. And they highly recommend this book for sure. And I see why. We've only went through two chapters. The first one was um, evolution, and then the second one was karma. Oh my goodness, that karma chapter was crazy, so good. My goodness, it put so many things for me into perspective that I had no awareness of, not to that depth. I know about karma. Of course, we have the gist of karma, the typical, what goes around comes around, you reap what you sow, the whole thing. But it's more vast than that. It's way more deeper than it's way deeper than what we the combed over, glossed over definition that we know and have been given over the course of our lives. But man, oh man, oh man, that thing was very, very good. It was so good. And I'm grateful for that expounding, that expounded definition of what karma is. My goodness, that was so enlightening. It really, really was. So today we are journeying through that book with the next chapter, which is entitled Reverence. Okay. And so I'm excited about this. I will, if you don't have your copy of the book that I have made available to you for free now, so you have no excuse. But if you don't have the copy of the book, then I will let you know by the end of the segment how you can obtain your own copy. We're airing live on so many different platforms simultaneously. We are on Clubhouse. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, all of the things. Okay. So wherever you are viewing from, I thank you for your presence. I thank you for your energy being here, sharing your energy with us and us with you. Okay. Now, without further ado, we are going to go ahead because you already know I don't like to keep you. At any point that you hear something that stands out to you, use the chat, use the comment section. That's what it's there for. Okay. Use it, use it, use it. And then I will give voice to your words. All right. All righty. So without further ado, this is chapter 3, Reverence. The framework of karma and reincarnation in which we evolve is neutral. Actions and reactions in the physical arena set energy into motion, forming our experiences and revealing in the process the lessons that the soul has yet to learn. When our actions create discord in another person, we ourselves in this lifetime or in another will feel that discord. Man, that was so enlightening to me. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. That you all, he's still going on in terms of the karma piece. Boy, that thing was so. Listen, he said in the last chapter, just a brief recap. He said in the last chapter, because we are all living all of our lives simultaneously. So this I knew. There is no past, no present, no future. This and the third. Well, in past and future, everything is happening simultaneously. So your soul is living several different lives, billions of other lives, okay, across billions of other galaxies. Your soul is living right now so many other lives simultaneously. That movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, it really expounds on this. It truly expounds on this. And I love that for the realm of that, for the field of entertainment, because man, oh man, oh man, it was amazing. Now, when but what we have come to learn is, there's our past and then our present, our future, and stuff like that. We've learned them as a separate thing, like each individual sector of us. But no, that's not true. That's a misconception. Everything is happening at the same time. So all of the lives that we have ever quote unquote lived are happening simultaneously. Now, your higher self is a culmination of all of those lives. Your higher self is literally the complete you. The you that's listening to me right now, okay, that's just one portion of your soul self, okay? All the other lives is the other portions of your soul self, okay? But as you evolve in this life, according to karma, as you evolve, every part of your evolution in this iteration also evolves your other iterations. You see what I'm saying? So if you grow in this life, then in the other lives, you're also growing, right? If you're healing in this life, then all in the other lives, you are also healing. So everything is interconnected. There is no separation of one or the other. So I'm going to reiterate that statement. It says when our actions create discord in another person, we ourselves in this lifetime or in another will feel that discord. Okay? Literally. And I think that if we had more understanding of this, a lot of the stuff that we do to ourselves and each other, we would not do. We would not do. Not at all. And this is definitely an opener, an eye opener, because if we had this understanding, you know what I'm saying, we would not. I'm telling you, oh my God, even with the story of Christ and his crucifixion, that is one of the reasons why he pleaded with God and said, "Forgive them. They know not what they do. They have no idea what they're doing." Okay, going on. It says, likewise, if our actions create harmony and empowerment in another, we also will come to feel that harmony and empowerment. Exactly. So karma works both ways, which, yeah, so does everything. Work both ways. This allows us to experience the effects of what we have created and thereby to learn and to create responsibly. That's the part right there. Be deliberate with our creating. Be deliberate, be intentional. The framework of karma and reincarnation is impersonal and provides for each soul in response to the actions of its personalities, the experiences that it requires in order to evolve. Therefore, the orientation or the attitude with which a personality approaches the evolutionary process determines the nature of the experiences that will be required for the evolution of its soul. An angry personality, for example, will respond to the difficulties of its life with anger and thereby bring into being the necessity of experiencing the results of anger. A sorrowful personality will respond sorrowfully and bring into being the necessity of experiencing the results of sorrow, and so on. Absolutely. A person who is angry and yet reveres life, however, will respond very differently to the difficulties of his or her life than a person who is angry and has no reverence for life. Okay. The person who has no reverence for life will not hesitate to strike out against life. The violence that is released in killing another person or another living creature is much greater than the violence that is released in speaking angry words. The karmic obligation, the energy imbalance that is created by killing, can be balanced only by the experience of a commensurate brutality. Sheesh. Thus, a person who is reverent will automatically be spared the severe karmic consequences of one who is not. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got that. Being angry and learning the lesson of that experience, and then changing and altering the belief and the mindset and the behavior, thoughts, words, and how you treat yourself and others can spare you in the karmic consequences. Because you have reverence for the growth, reverence for life, reverence for, I get it. Even if all of our species were reverent, that would riot in the need for us to move through our own evolution. It would just change the quality of the learning within the process of evolution. In other words, if we became reverent this day, we would not be exempt from the demands of our evolution, but the quality of the experience that we would encounter would be different. That's it. That's it. So what he's saying here is that life is going to be life, right? Life is going to have its stuff because we share this existence with billions of other people. So some people's lack of evolution and lack of evolving and things like that, lack of growth, and lack of healing, stuff like that, of course, is going to result in choices that are the results of that lack of whatever they're dealing with. So we're going to have to deal with the life experiences. However, like you said, we are not exempt from the demands of life, but the quality of the experience, right? Because I say this all the time, how you perceive a thing is how you will experience it. So if you perceive it from a space of, oh, woe is me, life is so hard, when it rains, it pours, all of this stuff, then of course, that's what you will encounter, right? But if you have a reverence for the life and for the experiences and for the circumstances, and you understand that there's lessons attached to them, then you won't, your experience will be a little different. Going on, it says we would not harm life. Oh, we would not harm life. We will still learn the same thing, but in the process of learning, we would not seek to harm or to destroy. Our journey from powerlessness to authentic empowerment would continue, but the nature of that experience would change. We would not encounter the types of experiences that result from a perception of the world that lacks reverence. Yeah, yeah. We see life as cheap. Ooh, listen. This perception pervades all of our perceptions. When we look at the animal kingdom, for example, we see the activities within this kingdom as verification of our evaluation of life. We see animals kill and feed upon other animals. We can conclude that weaker forms of life exist only to nourish the stronger. Right, exactly. We do have that mindset, man. We justify our exploitation of life upon what we perceive to be the design of nature. Exactly, ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We maim and kill. We create situations in which millions of people starve while we store grain in silos and pour milk down the drains. We look upon each other as prey to satisfy our emotional and physical needs. We say it's a dog eat dog world, and that to survive in it, we must take advantage of others before they take advantage of us. We look upon life as a contest that produces winners and losers, and we feel no restraints upon us when the needs of other people or other groups threaten us. Mm. Our behavior and values are so much shaped by perceptions that lack reverence that we do not know what it is like to be reverent. When we curse a competitor or strive to disempower another person, we absent ourselves from reverence. When we work to take instead of to give, we labor without reverence. My goodness. Ooh, I got chills. When we strive for safety at the expense of another person's safety, we deprive ourselves of the protection of reverence. When we judge one person as superior and another as inferior, we depart from reverence. When we judge ourselves, we do the same thing. Business, politics, education, sex, raising families, and personal interactions without reverence all produce the same result: human beings using other human beings. Sheesh. My goodness. Our species has become arrogant. We behave as though the earth were ours to do with as we please. We pollute its lands, ocean, and atmosphere to satisfy our needs without thinking of the needs of the other life forms that live upon the earth or of the needs of the earth. We believe that we are conscious and that the universe is not. Come on. So many people have said that, even in terms of me referring to the universe. Oh God, oh, the diminishing of what that means and the power that that exists inside of the universe is crazy. When I tell you, I feel so much in my body right now. We think and act as though our existence as living forces in the universe will end with this lifetime, exactly, and that we are responsible neither to others nor to the universe. It is not possible for a reverent person to exploit his or her friends. That's it. Co-workers, city, nation, or planet. It is not possible for a reverent species to create caste systems, child labor, nerve gas, or nuclear weapons. Therefore, it is not possible for a reverent person or a reverent species to accumulate the type of karma that such activities create. Why is this? What is reverence? Reverence is engaging in a form and a depth of contact with life that is well beyond the shell of form and its essence. Reverence is contact with the essence of each thing and person and plant and bird and animal. It is contact with the interior of its beingness. Even if you cannot see the intent, sense the interior, it is enough to know that the form, the shell, is merely an outer layer, and that underneath it, the true power and essence of who a person is or what a thing is present. That is what is honored in reverence. That's it. That is it. Not the shell, not the skin, not the job, not the class, not the this, not the titles, not that, all of that stuff. Mm-mm. It is the reverence for what is underneath that has the true power and the essence of who a person or what a thing is. Ah, my goodness. Process is honored in reverence. The unfolding of life, the maturation process, the process of growing through and coming into your own empowerment is a process that needs to be approached with reverence. The cycles of life need to be approached with reverence. They have been in place for billions of years. Listen, the cycles of life need to be approached with reverence. They have been in place for billions of years. They are the reflection of the natural breathing of the soul of Gala itself, the earth consciousness, as it moves its force fields and guides the cycles of life. If these are revered, how could we look at something as exquisite as our Earth's ecology and do one thing that would risk the balance of this system? Exactly. Reverence is an attitude of honoring life. You do not have to be authentically empowered to be gentle with life or to love life. There are many people who are not authentically empowered, but who are quite reverent. They would harm nothing. Often it is the case that they are the most compassionate and the most loving people because they have suffered so much. Ooh, I just talked about this. Whether a person is reverent depends essentially upon whether he or she accepts the principle of the sacredness of life any way that he or she defines sacred. Reverence is also simply the experience of accepting that all life is in and of itself of value. Reverence is not respect. Respect is a judgment. It is a response to the perception of qualities that we ourselves admire or have been taught to admire. Qualities that are admired by the people of one culture may not be admired by the people of another culture, or by the people of a subculture, or by another generation of the same culture. Therefore, what is respected by some may not be respected by others. It is possible to respect one person and not respect another, but it is not possible to revere one person without revering every person. Reverence is a perception, but it is a holy perception. The perception of holiness is not one that we use continually. It is one that we apply to a religion, but not to the process of evolution or the learning process of the human life. And so we do not approach the need to learn and all of the learning experiences of our lives with regard for their purpose against the background of spiritual development. Receiving in this way is true reverence because it allows you to look at what you're going through and to see it within the framework of the evolution and the maturation of your own spirit. That's it. That's it. Seeing the situation for what it is and not from where you are, right? Understanding that every single thing that is occurring is happening for you, not to you. It is true reverence because it enables you to look at all the evolutions that are taking place simultaneously with your own in all of the kingdoms of life and fully appreciate or at least see very differently how they unfold. Only when we see through eyes that lack reverence, for example, does the feeding of one animal upon another appear to be a cruel system instead of one where species learn to give to each other, where there's a natural give and take and sharing of the energies between kingdoms. Goodness, this is ecology, the natural redistribution of energy between kingdoms. Wow, I like that. The natural redistribution of energy between kingdoms. It is only our kingdom, the human kingdom, that wants to warehouse energy, to use much more than it needs, and to store what it does not, so that the balance of the cycle is disturbed so dramatically. In each of us, in each of us took only what he or she, if each of us took only what he or she needed for that day, it would be perfect. Come on, come on, come on. My goodness. Animals do not warehouse like us, except in the case of animals that need to for the winter, right? The perception of reverence allows us to see the interdependency of different species from a more comprehensive and compassionate perspective. It allows us to see the significance of each living creature and its experiences to the compassionate unfolding of the universe. This perspective is much less likely to create violence or destructive responses within us as we grow through our lives because it reveals in each moment the value of all life. Approaching and regarding life with an attitude of reverence permits the experience of being unempowered but not cruel. As you work toward becoming reverent, your tendencies toward harming others and other forms of life diminish. As you acquire a sense of reverence, you develop a capacity to think more deeply about the value of life before you commit your energy to action. When you are fully reverent, you cannot harm life, even though you are unempowered. Without reverence, the experience of being unempowered can become a very cruel one because a disempowered person is a frightened person. And if a frightened person has no sense of reverence, he or she will harm or kill indiscriminately. Right. Reverence is a level of protection and an honor about the process of life so that while a person is maturing toward the journey and through the journey of authentic empowerment, he or she harms nothing. Because we have no reverence, our journey to empowerment often includes the experiences of victimizing life. Therefore, there are victims and victimizers. The process of destroying life while we are learning about life that has characterized our evolution would cease, or at least would be very different if we approach life with a quality of reverence. It is because we have no sense of reverence, no true belief in the holiness of all life, that life is destroyed and tortured, brutalized, starved, and maimed, while we journey through unempowerment to empowerment. From a sense of reverence, we brought into the process of evolution. Then, as each of us and our species moves through the cycle of being unempowered to becoming empowered, the many learnings that are contained within that growing process of evolution would not likely produce violence or fear to the extent that it is now experienced. The destructions of human life, plant life, animal life, and the planet would be considerably diminished or would cease if there were an active principle of reverence within our species. If there were the perception within our species and within each of us that although we are engaged in evolutionary processes that require personal learning, that does not authorize us to destroy life while we are learning or because we are. We would not have the karmic energy of destruction, only of learning. Even though learning is contained in destruction, the karmic consequences of participating in violence and destruction are a high price to pay for it. It is not necessary, in other words, to learn what we need to learn and have it cost somebody his or her life. That's it. It is not necessary for progress and the experience of progress to cost the destruction of nature. It is not necessary, but without a sense of reverence for life, who cares that it destroys life? Without reverence, life becomes a very cheap commodity, as it is upon our planet now, where the entire process of the sacredness of evolution is not regarded, accepted, or honored. If we perceived life with reverence and understood our evolutionary process, we would stand in awe at the experience of physical life and walk the earth in a very deep sense of gratitude. As it is, there are billions of human beings who are filled with regret that they are on the earth, while overwhelming experiences of pain, despair, discouragement, depression, starvation, and disease. These are the things of our planet. They result largely from the fact that so much of human condition is without reverence. Reverence is a perception of the soul. Only the personality can perceive life without reverence. Reverence is a natural aspect of authentic empowerment because the soul reveres all of life. Therefore, when the personality is aligned with the soul, it cannot perceive life except with reverence. Approaching life with reverence not only protects the soul from the karmic obligations that are created by personalities that do not honor life, but it also is a step toward moving the personality into alignment with the soul because it brings an aspect of the soul directly into physical environment. What does the decision to approach life with reverence mean in practical terms? It means challenging the perceptions and the values of a five sensory world that lacks reverence. This is not always easy, especially for males who have been taught values that serve the accumulation of external power. An authentically empowered male will not be embarrassed or feel less than fully masculine by showing concern for life and for the many creatures on our planet. That it is very much the energy of reverence. Therefore, the decision to approach life with reverence often requires courage, not only of men, but also of women who have adopted these values. The decision to become a reverent person is essentially the decision to become a spiritual person. There is currently no place for spirituality within science, politics, business, or academia. To a five sensory personality that lacks reverence, a reverent businessman or businesswoman appears to be competing at a disadvantage because the range of his or her activities is not unlimited. And a reverent politician appears to be unqualified for leadership in a world where the only power that is recognized is external power. Exactly. Yet to the multi-sensory human, a reverent businessman or businesswoman is a person who infuses a new energy into the archetype of entrepreneur, shifting it from a dynamic that is motivated by profits that are generated by serving others to a dynamic of serving others that is made possible by profits. And a reverent politician is a person who challenges the concept of external power and brings the political arena the concerns of the heart. Therefore, the decision to approach life with reverence means acting and thinking as a spiritual person in a world that does not recognize spirit. And it means moving consciously toward the perceptions of the multisensory human. To live with reverence means being willing to say, that is life. We must not harm it. And those are our fellow humans. We must not destroy them. And mean it. It means re examining the way that we treat the members of the animal kingdom that serve us so patiently. It means recognizing the rights of the earth, that the earth has rights is a concept that is not even present in our species yet. Exactly. An attitude of reverence is the atmosphere, the environment in which the multisensory personality evolves. It is a sense of richness and fullness and intimacy of being. It creates compassion and acts of kindness. Without reverence, without the perception of the holiness of all things, the world becomes cold and barren, mechanical and random at the same time. And this creates experiences of alienation and acts of violence. It is not natural for us to live without reverence because that separates us from the basic energy of the soul. Reverence automatically brings forth patience. Impatience is the desire to have your needs met first. Hmm. Impatience is the desire to have your needs met first. When your needs are taken care of, you do not then have patience with the needs of others. Or do you not then have patience with the needs of others? A reverent person honors life in all its forms and all its activities. It does not think in terms that are required to produce impatience. Reverence permits a non judgmental justice. The soul does not judge, and so the personality chooses to bring into physical reality another of its soul's characteristics when it chooses to approach life with reverence. The reverent person cannot consider himself or herself superior to another person or to any other form of life because the reverent person sees divinity in all forms of life and honors it. An attitude of reverence facilitates the transition from the logic and understanding of the five sensory human to the higher order of logic and understanding of the multi-sensory human. Because as we shall see, this higher order of logic and understanding originates in the heart. Without reverence, our experiences are brutal and destructive. With reverence, our experiences become compassionate and caring. We shall come to honor all of life sooner or later. Our choices are when that shall happen. Our choices are when that shall happen, and the quality of experience that we shall have as we learn. My goodness. Ooh. Chapter 4 is heart. Ooh, I kind of want to go into chapter 4. Ooh, I kind of want to go into chapter 4, but I won't. I won't do it because I know we're doing chapter for chapter. Ooh, my goodness. And it's so good that he's going straight into heart because we're talking about reverence here. Reverence. Reverence for all things created. Reverence, 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 reverence. Even stuff that we don't deem is valuable. To who? Who's the gauge that measures what is determined to be valuable or not? Like who said that the weeds outside are invaluable, or I mean are worthless? I'll say that. Who says that the stuff that we toss out or that we just dismiss has no value and has no worth? Where do we get this from to be able to label stuff this or that valuable or not valuable? Where do we get that from? That is, oh my goodness. It's so much stuff we have to unlearn, you all. It's so much stuff we have to unlearn. And we got to get back to the reverence part of this life. We have to get back to the reverence part of this life. Revering all, revering earth, like you said. We don't even realize or acknowledge the fact that the earth has rights. The earth has rights. This earth has been here for billions of years. Who are we to come in here and just violate and just dig into her and just oh destroy the atmosphere, destroy the oh my goodness, the waters, her grounds. Who are we? And what attitude and arrogance and ego do we think? It's that external power that we gotta have. Because who gave us this right to be this irreverent? And how we treat earth, how we treat the atmosphere, how we treat air, water, is exactly how we treat each other. How we treat nature, animals, all creation is exactly how we treat one another. Irreverently. My goodness. Man, oh man, oh man. That is something. If we really saw each other as one, if we really, really, really worked with each other from our space of reverence, there is no me here, up here, and you down there. No, you just happen to be at that position. But that doesn't mean that you are better, greater. That means nothing. External power that has no place in actual empowerment. It matters not to actual empowerment. Man, oh man. That's something to sit with, man. Please sit with it. Please sit with it. Because we really have to do better with ourselves and with others. With everything else, to be honest. That's I feel it. I've been feeling it all over my body, like in chills and sensation energetically, but I also feel it in my heart space. My word. What have we done? What have we done and what are we doing? Like he said in the very, very end, he said it's going to be our choices. Our choices are when that, he says, without reverence, our experiences are brutal and destructive. With reverence, our experiences become compassionate and caring. We shall come to honor all of life sooner or later. Our choices are when that shall happen. Every single choice that we make, are we making the choice? Are we deciding through reverence? Are we deciding through selfishness? Mm, is this decision one of reverence? That's big. Mm. Hmm. Are my words that I want to say, are they words of reverence? Are the thoughts that I'm thinking, are they thoughts of reverence for all, not just God? Because God is all. God is all, man. That's big. That's big. Okay, you all. Oof, that's something to sit with. Oh, God, that's something to sit with. If you don't have this book, get the book. Okay. To receive your copy of the ebook version, it's a PDF file version, and one where you can pull up from everywhere, anywhere. Lunchtime, you got a little couple minutes from work or whatever, downtime at home and whatnot. You can pull it up from everywhere. Okay. Inbox me, email me with your information. You can email me at info@biancamissblee.com. Okay. Again, info@biancamissblee.com. Wherever you see me, it's how you see my name spelled, biancamissblee.com. Okay. info@biancamissblee.com. Okay. Also, you can visit my website at www.biancamissblee.com on Clubhouse. You can tap right above my head. Everywhere else is on the screen. Okay. Follow that URL and you will be right where you need to be. Also, be sure to follow me on social media, you all platforms. It is Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee. Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee. Wherever, anywhere you go, Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee, okay? Oh my goodness. I'm still in it. I'm still in it, you all. I'm still there. Ooh. Because now I'm thinking it's not a condemnation thought, but it's being more mindful. Being more mindful. Even with the choices that I made today, just today, and we're still in today, were the choices that I made choices of reverence. And I can guarantee you, I can tell you no. Honestly, no, they weren't. Although the words that I had spoke, they were not words of reverence. The thoughts that I thought, they were not thoughts of reverence. And I'm conscious of that now. I'm aware. It's in my awareness as a result of reading this chapter. And from now on, I'm going to be intentional, very deliberate with that. It has to be through the lens of reverence, because I'm not just speaking to another person. When I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to God. I'm speaking to the I am in you that deserves reverence. You know, when I'm drinking my water, I'm not just drinking water. I'm revering water, because in that water is the I am. I'm not just breathing air. It's not just air. In that air is the breath of the I am. Come on. Mm. Reverence, 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 reverence for all that is, for all that is. Oh, okay. I'm gonna sit with this. Okay, and oof, that's it for now. I'm gonna sit with this. I'm gonna, we're in there early, but I need you all to really, really, really take this in and just kind of meditate on that for the remainder of the day, or even tomorrow. And then we'll be back here on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. with the next chapter, which is hard, chapter 4. I'm excited about that chapter. Oof, oof, because that plays a big, huge role in why there's a lack of reverence. Seriously. Okay. Alrighty, you all. Listen, I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely positively nothing you can do about it. Don't you even try. We'll be back here on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, Voices of Empowerment with Dr. B. Peace.